Hey y'all, it's January 21st and I've had some free time today because it snowed again in Atlanta, and so things that I would normally be doing on this day got canceled. And I took the time today and have been contemplating some things, and I wrote this essay about the state of our industry as actors here in this market. And I shared it with some of my students on Zoom today. We did get together that way for a brief while. And one of them contacted me later and said, you could post that. That'd be cool. We spread it around for you since you're not on social media much anymore. But why don't you make a video? Because people don't read that much, I guess. So here's your video. Okay, let me pull up my little essay here and I'll read it to you. January 21st, 2025. So, the 2020's so far. I'll preface this by saying if you, as an actor, have had some gigs over the past 5 or so years, whether you agree with me right now or not, you are doing better than most. Let me explain. Recently, I exchanged some emails with an industry partner of mine, and I laid out all of the setbacks that our industry has faced recently. And then they turned around, shot that back to me, and put a timeline down the side of it of when these things happened. So I sent the list, they sent it back with dates on it, and here's the list. Pandemic, 2020 to 2022. Writer's strike, 22 to 23. Actors strike, 23 to 24. IATSE Teamsters almost strikes, 24. Streaming just isn't profitable. They wrote back, whole decade. I added, so far. England tax breaks, 23. And then the coup de grace, apocalyptic firestorms in Los Angeles, 2025. So how did we get here? Not the fires, but everything else. Well, on February 1st, 2013, Netflix released House of Cards and set the precedent of what the future of streaming was going to look like. Binging had begun. From then till the pandemic began, there was an unprecedented amount of work available, not only to A-listers, but the rest of the journeyman actors as well. It was a great time to be a good actor, especially here in Georgia, in our market. The 2008 tax incentive system was attracting more and more work from this glut of production. 4, 5, 6 auditions per week had become a bit normal. And the pandemic stopped everything. You can use your Gary Oldman voice here. Everything. For about 6 months. Until we all figured out how we could turn the machine back on safely. So were some mistakes made? Yeah. In hindsight, hell yes. But at the time, we were really searching around in the dark. Now, there was a flurry of work beginning around fall of 2020 up until the spring, summer of the writer's strike, 22. This was mostly the pent-up work that was on hiatus during the first year of the pandemic. Now, the streamers continued throwing money at new projects in an effort to gain market share, eyeballs. Netflix and Hulu were and still are at the top of the heap and the only players actually making a profit. Prime is in third, and it's still not turning a profit. And Prime's entertainment division is such a small part of the vast Amazon monopoly, a whole other discussion. They don't really mind, I guess. I don't know. The writers and actors during this time continued to bow to the wishes of these new forces in the industry. Just let us get this thing up and running, and then we'll let you make a little more money, was their basic tenet during that time. And we actors and the writers stuck with them. But by late 22, time was up. And first the writers and then the actors finally said, enough is enough. And we followed that with overlapping strikes that pretty much wiped out 23. Not long after, the threat of the same thing happening with IATSE and the Teamsters continued to hamper production. So, once the dust of the strikes and potential strikes had settled, it appears the streamers were very cognizant that their utopian future of pay for what you want without commercials wasn't exactly the panacea they had envisioned. Just as the artists were rubbing their hands together in anticipation of the flood of new work in 24, work didn't materialize. Producers, realizing their miscalculation, slashed production about 40% across the board. Major studios even left the country for better tax breaks overseas. And now, 2025, Mother Nature steps in and drops the hammer physically on the heart of the entertainment world with the apocalyptic fires that have swept Los Angeles. I mean, what's next, right? Locusts, Skynet, the singularity? I mean, geez. So, as I prefaced all of this, if you've had some gigs over the past 5 years or so, you have done well. Better than most. Be grateful. So here we are. One day after the new administration takes the reins of the American experiment, I hope they know what they're doing. I wasted 4 years whining about it last time. Not this time. Will I be voting in 2026? You're damn right I will be. So what will 2025 and beyond look like for the artists in our community? Who the fuck knows? My best advice, if you're even looking for any, is to stay focused on the process and forget about the product. If you are a performing artist, you are better served by loving the process and being pleasantly surprised by any product that may come your way. Theater, acting, training, writing, 48-hour films, art school films, improv, sketch, etc., etc. Don't quit. Don't quit. Keep doing what you love, no matter what. However, if you don't love the process, as I had just described, maybe you should have a long talk with yourself about what it is you really do love that isn't product, and do that instead. If you don't really quite understand the difference between product and process, I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it with you, or ask your other artist friends. They can explain it. That's it. Thanks for your time.